Hey guys, welcome to DreamCoin. It's Tyler again, and today I'm just going to be doing a quick video on how I go about finding a lot of the stocks that I do before they kind of take off in that very high range of profitability. I've gotten a couple of people asking me, how do I go about finding the sectors that I want to invest in, or the different price ranges that I look for in stocks, and where I decide I want to buy in and everything like that. So I'm going to be going over a few of the key things that I do today and kind of show you some of the different things that you can use inside of your brokerage app to kind of look at that as well. And I'm also going to be taking you through a couple of the websites that I use for market news and things like that. So when I'm analyzing quite a few charts on Webull, I kind of go through a grid of stuff here, see what's kind of trending for the day and stuff, just for like a quick overview. This is what I'll look first thing in the morning. You see over here, you can see all your different information for the stock in general, your free float, how many like shares are available to be purchased, open, highs, lows, and then down here I'll usually use the level 2 data so I can see kind of like the buy walls or sell walls coming in, so I can kind of price point during the day, different dips and everything like that I want to buy into, or different like top points that I want to go in if I want to scalp a little bit. And as you can see, like if you just click through, it'll change that data for you as well. My first thing that I definitely want to recommend when you're looking for a new stock is you kind of want to narrow down different industries or market sectors that you think are going to be doing well as of right now based on government regulations or different world news going on, or just different news with specific bigger stocks that might reshuffle that whole industry just for a temporary amount of time. Say like Tesla stocks plummeting, and that might affect other EV stocks, or Apple stocks plummeting and that might affect tech stocks, or anything along those lines. A very good website you can go to here is Market Watch, and what they are good for is you can kind of go in here for your market news. So if you just go to the main page here, you can see like just the baseline news, see how the general market's moving up and down, DOW, S&P 500, all that fun stuff. It'll tell you the latest news and all that. What I really like to do when I come in here is go over here to investing. And once we go to investing, a good thing you can do is scroll down and you can see a list of like all the different industries that you go through. And for me right now, especially with Biden in office and his cabinet that he has for the government of the United States right now, I'm focusing heavily on anything that has to do with energy, automotive, because automotive is going to pertain to all those electric vehicles and things like that, and potentially cannabis, even because cannabis is going to be a potential talking point as the government goes on. They've already had a lot of Democrats pushing more for legalization federally for cannabis. So what you would do is you kind of narrow down the industries you think you might want to invest in, and that'll kind of help you scale down what you want to look for when you're looking for a stock. Let's say I want to go into looking at automotive, right? You go in here, it's going to show you the biggest storylines coming through here. Like you see here, GM unveils electric Chevy Bolt compact SUV starting at $34,000. It'll give you the ticker for GM right here, show you how much they're up or down. Churchill Capital Group upsizing IPO to 48 million unit. It's going to tell you the CCIV ticker because that's what it's pertaining to. What you could do is go down here, see the more auto headlines, and kind of potentially see what you want to look for as you kind of scroll through for different automotive news and all of those kinds of things. Oh, another big website to use as a resource right now if you are trying to figure out whether you should be buying into a stock or not, or if it's going to be a good bet for you, is Seeking Alpha. And what Seeking Alpha is good for is you can get a premium subscription, which they'll tell you their top stuff, which I'm on the premium. You can go in here and see top dividend stocks based on their ratings, but even on the free stuff, you can check out their latest news. You can go and break it down over here and filter it by, dividend stocks or crypto or commodities, US economy. This is just another nice little website that's going to give you more in-depth information. You've probably seen in a couple of my videos, I have a lot of their articles linked inside of here because they're a good resource just for more information. And this kind of, even outside of news, they have like nice opinion articles by other like individual investors that give their opinions on why a stock is good and give like factual information behind the company. If there's not any trending news, but I want to see if there's a smaller company doing stuff, physically go on the website and you can see what they have coming down the pipeline. So say we're looking at Zomedica here, right? Because Zomedica has been a big talking point. A lot of people. I did a video on Zomedica a week ago when I started the channel, and a lot of you seem to have liked my analysis on that. What you go through when you go through on Zomedica is they'll have their latest news on here, and a lot of companies will do the same kind of thing. So it'll tell you they have like share selling news of dealing common shares, information on their new developments that they have coming down the pipeline, everything along those lines. And if you look around, a lot of websites will have investor information on their websites, especially if their stock is starting to pick up a little bit. And so what this tells you is why they feel they're a good investment, which is kind of nice to look over. And so what you should be looking at when you're looking for your information is just, do you think the news is viable for what you're looking for? Do you think it's going to be something that's a potential catalyst, whether it's now or whether it's a couple months down the road? Do you think the news is going to provide a value to the stock and you as a stockholder? You want to see if a company has a history of doing share splits or anything that could hurt stockholders in the long run, or if they issue shares a lot of the time and do it like 10 times throughout the year versus like once a year. And all of those are going to be indicators of whether you should invest into a stock as a whole. I wanted to show you a couple things that you can do with your charts to see if something is going to be worth your time. This is also going to go in them with the new stuff, so you can kind of click through their channel and stuff right here. But if you don't know much about the company, usually they'll have this brief tab, or your broker that you're on should have some sort of information tab about the company without you having to go off the website. They'll kind of tell you what the company does. You can look at news and it'll tell you top in articles that they've been mentioned in. But what I like to do is, especially if it's a long-term stock, I kind of want to zoom out over like a 1 month to 3 month period to see how it's trending over time. If you're looking more short-term, obviously you want to come over here and do the 5-day or 1-day chart. I usually look at the 1-day chart a lot when I'm going through the day to see if I want to buy in dips, but generally I'm looking at 5-day, and I'm going to scroll out a little bit so I can see kind of trends. So like when I'm setting up here, I'm going to go up to drawing and I'm going to do trend line. Say I'm trying to see the trend right here for what this time is going to be. Basically, you want to try to set your trend where it's going to be touching a few points throughout the chart, about right here, and that's going to be the channel that it's operating in. And then it doesn't matter if it matches up perfectly, because of course it's going to dip up and down with a trend line. This is just an average essentially. But what you're doing is, this is basically a support trend line, and what you're looking for is, as it goes over time, for it to bounce off of this. And if it's following your support lines that you've been setting up, that's a good indicator of where the stock's going to go. Obviously, if I go back over here, your trend line would be more like potentially like through here. That would be kind of like a rough trend line for you there, and that's going to see, you know, it's following just that trend perfectly. And basically what you do is you drag it out and look for it to follow this trend line still too, and see if it's going to be there. If it's dipping back below like this is usually an indicator that you have a good buy-in point for what's going on. Another indicator for a drawing you can use is going to be a support line. So you come over here, you look for a support where it's sitting around. So this is about where it's been supporting roughly the past few days of market, and it's been sitting around there pretty nice. These are like a little off depending on what's going on, but as of like the 11th and 12th, this is about where it's supporting. It appears, since it's been peaking around this top part and it can't break through, this would become a resistance. So you're looking at resistance here. Basically, if it breaks through a resistance anytime, for when you're looking at a chart, you're going to be looking more for it to keep rising up when it breaks through that resistance. So that might be a point for you to short-term sell your stuff for a quick profit, or you're looking for it to possibly make a new support up higher. Say you had a resistance here before, it broke through this resistance, and now this is the newer support and this is the new resistance. So that's the kind of stuff you're looking for short-term and long-term, but obviously this is more of a few-day chart. So these are going to be more viable as break-in points, because you're not scalping, you're looking for more of a long-term buy-in with something like Zometica usually. One of my favorite indicators is going to be the VWAP line, and the VWAP line is just going to be the average price of shares pertaining to the volume. So you can see the volume down here is what I have for indicators. Basically, if the price is above the VWAP, it's a good indicator that it's doing well for its price. It's breaking what the average estimate of the price should be based on the volume. Like right here, this is a good peak, and if it's breaking below the VWAP, that might be a good chance for you to buy in. That's kind of what I look for as well. Like right here is a really good buy-in point, because it broke that, and then it's going to rebound back up to the VWAP. The VWAP is usually kind of a good average line to go off of. I like that more than average line, because average just takes the highs and lows and can take extremities, whereas VWAP is a little more consistent for what you're looking for. That's definitely a good thing to go off of, because as you can see here, like long term, the VWAP is very consistent with the price, and here it's been breaking a lot more lately. Basically, that's the simple way for anybody that's new to investing to look for new different stocks you want to invest in, and if it's going to be worth your time as a whole to get invested in. If it's following those market news, if the market news is valuable to the stock, if your trend lines and your VWAP are going well with your data, or going on a consistent upward trend, or you think it might break again soon and it's on a downward trend and you want to buy the dip so you can get it low and sell high later on. These are all different things you can use to help you try to find that stock early. With that being said, that's going to do it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I want to bring more educational content for this for you guys on how to analyze stock charts and stuff like that. So to make sure you comment below if there's anything specific you want me to go over, whether it's how to read certain indicators or how to kind of base off your averages or anything like that. I appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. We're already over 100 subscribers as of today in just under 7 days, like a week of the channel going live. You guys have been nuts with the CCIV video. We're going to probably do an update on that soon after market close tomorrow to see where the price is sitting. And I'm hoping to keep just going strong and get you guys all that nice content out so you can kind of see what stocks you might potentially want to be looking at. Other than that, I'll catch you guys next time, and I'll see you. Peace.